This is unexpected. I can't believe I'm actually having lunch with spies. I'm just a salesman.
Exactly. You're civilians, the KGB won't be watching.
I love the film. And, you know, there was a moment early on where Grayville finished that business lunch and he's standing on the steps and he drops the mask, right? Like his face just changes. And I thought for a second, is that what Benedict loves about that part?
I'm volunteering to bring back the best source of Soviet intelligence you've got at a time where Russia and America are on the brink of nuclear war.
Sounds like work.
No, tell them I'm in my chair.
Yes, he's just walked in.
There are many things that drew me to the role, but you're right, that's a key part of it. You know, mask play, I think I've said before, you know, spying roles for actors are sort of meat and drink because you get to play so many layers of meaning. You get to reveal things to the audience that aren't revealed to characters in scenes and vice versa. Just it's a very complex system of signaling, and that's intriguing, and it for me is an open invitation to nuance. And I'm really glad you spotted that, because, you know, he is, even at the beginning, despite his humble origins, and that was a big draw as well, this guy is a very ordinary guy who ends up doing an extraordinary thing and going quite the extraordinary journey with it. But, you know, to start with, humble, Welsh-born, hence the slightly Welsh-ified English accent, who's, you know, trying to level up, but he's also trying to go up the social ladder, the class ladder. He's married well, and he's working very hard as a businessman who's selling mechanical engineering parts for manufacture. I mean, it's a pretty dry enterprise, but he's doing it with charm and the gift of the gab. And the guy was near illiterate. He was highly dyslexic.
We've gone over it with Penkovsky. We believe the risk to you is minimal, and we'll pay you.
I make my own money. Thank you very much. I have a wife and a child. Either of you have a family? Oh, no. Don't suppose you could tell me about that. Not a lot you can tell me about, is there, Helen?
So he never planned on being a spy, but he turned out to be critical. I never knew this story, Boris. It's amazing. What do you think made him good? Because, you know, watching the trailer, I thought, okay, tradecraft, we're going to see people doing signals and drop boxes. No, it's all psychological. So what made him the right man for the role?
That he was the wrong man for the role. He was the least capable. The KGB were already onto the usual diplomatic back channels. You know, the US Embassy in particular had been exposed as being a hotbed of spies. And they were looking, both sides, Penkovsky as the highest ranking informant, as a colonel in the military, but also the West in the form of CIA and MI6. They were looking for a new way to extract information and keep the channels open. And they were looking for people. And so he fitted the bill. He was naive. He was innocent. He was what Penkovsky calls at the beginning of the film an amateur. And that's exactly what would remain undetected or unlikely and not to cause suspicion in any regard in a time when most other channels had been completely and utterly exposed.
From now on, you will be selling one thing. The idea that you are an ordinary businessman and nothing more than an ordinary businessman.
You're shooting right now, big budget or small budget in Canada. Chances are we're only going to watch this at our homes right now because of the state of theaters. I wonder, are you wistful about the lack of theatrical experience right now?
Yeah, I am. I mean, and you know, obviously not just for cinema, but I'm a theatre animal as well, both as a consumer and as a producer. And it is tough. I think that we are losing this idea of what the communal experience is. And having had a couple in the brief moments we've had respite from restrictions, it's an incredibly powerful, moving thing to reinvigorate, to be part of again. And it will be slightly overwhelming. Yes, there'll be anxiety. Of course there will be, with any kind of gathering over a certain number inside. But I think we've got to strive to get back to something of that. It's missing, and it's important for our culture. You know, drama began as a communal, cathartic experience, and you don't get that watching films on your phone or your computers or even your big TVs at home, whatever it might be. It is what we have to deal with right now. And if that's the only way that Canadians can see this film, then fine. I'm fine with that. Of course I am. There are bigger things going on, but And the last thing you want is for an audience to be at risk. So, you know, I do feel there's a certain amount of responsibility we have as filmmakers as well for that. Distributors primarily, obviously, but
you're right. It is a very human experience.
There's nothing like sitting in a cinema and having that night out. And even though you're focused on it with the other or the group that you've gone with, and not necessarily the whole, I think we're going to be giddy when we do have that experience again, for the very reasons we just took it for granted. We don't know what it is until it's not there. And I think we're all missing it, especially with live performance, but I think also for recorded performance as well, film.
Well, thank you for this, and thank you for the time. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.